and being able to rely on you and count on you. And like, but it also is not a passive thing. Like I can't just expect you to mind read me. Mm-hmm. You know, I've had to really advocate when things start to feel weird to me, or like, oh, I'm about to like hop on the resentment train. Choo choo. Oh, hello. We're talking about my tits.
Most of the time.
Girl on girl on girl.
You would.
Like, stop picking up the fucking hot knife. Fucking cares.
Right on track.
Ugh.
With a lot of money, I would do great fucking things. But not in a good way.
Yikes.
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 Yikes. Where's the realness?
Yeah. Everything you want.
Immaculate experience.
Back down.
You're getting like excited. I do actually.
We need tequila. Exactly. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast.
Is it recording?
It should be recording. Let's hope so. You know what we should do? We should just record a separate track here, because knowing our luck, actually,
We already had a power outage today.
we already had, yeah, like this is fucking nuts.
We're leading a workshop. We have a power outage. So, universe is...
It's not even letting me record. Okay, here we go. We got our secondary recording. We're fine.
Do you guys see? We're together
We're
today.
together.
So,
I mean, if they're listening, they probably don't see that.
they don't give a fuck, but we're together. We're going to get some video. We're going to chop up some video. That's on our
To-do list.
That's on our task list. But you guys, we're celebrating
1 year. Season 1 of the podcast is complete. We did it. We made it through the gauntlet. Good job.
Mm-hmm. We have like 50. This will be episode 53.
Yeah, because 52 is last week. So this is technically season 2, episode 1.
We gotta fucking bring the heat.
I know.
We need the tequila.
Exactly.
We need the tequila.
Yeah, so we made it through the gauntlet of our first year of podcasting, and we wanted to come in, start season 2 off by diving into some of our biggest lessons that we've learned from year 1 of podcasting together. Because, I mean, it's a big accomplishment to just have a podcast in general, but to co-host a podcast
And still be friends after
and still
a year?
be friends. Actually,
Better
better friends. Like, we have the cheat code.
Uh-huh.
We have the fucking cheat code. So we wanted to share that with you today because it's been such a wild journey for us. And we also are just so happy to be here and to start season 2. And I'm very, very proud of us.
Me too.
You know, like that took something to show up like every week. We didn't take a week off.
Nope.
Like we did 52 episodes in that first year.
Oh yeah.
I think this year, like we could probably take maybe 2 weeks off at some point, like maybe Christmas holidays. You know, we might take a 2-week breather, but maybe we won't. Like, maybe we'll just keep turboing through, and like that takes something.
We'll do a turbo tip. It'll be like a 3-minute episode. We'll be like, yeah,
zinger.
Yeah, maybe that is.
You know, maybe that's what we do. But like even that, like we've been able to learn our own flow through this last year. And I think that's the biggest thing is like we didn't stick with like this very hardcore plan of like it has to look, 45-minute episodes every single week. And like we played with it. Mm-hmm. And we gave ourselves permission to shift and change and be fucking ridiculous and off the rails with it. Like the titles of these segments kill me. Like they're just so fucking good. Mm-hmm. And even that is, I think, one of the biggest things for me. And like we had so much fun with it.
Yeah.
And we played, and I think that for me is how I stay most engaged. Like it's very hard for me to stay engaged in business, in life, in love, if I'm not having fun. And if I can't be ridiculous and can't say offside shit. And like we gave a massive permission slip this last year of let's go off the rails, but also be deeply of service. Like
100%.
The people that have reached out from all over the fucking world who are like, we are obsessed with your podcast, we're binging your episodes, is the fucking coolest thing. Yeah. So wherever you're listening to this, we love you.
Yes.
And we're so happy that you're here with us. And we're stoked for season 2.
Season 2. If you think season 1 was a banger.
Just you wait. We are just getting started.
Yeah, so we want to share with you some of our top takeaways this year from podcasting for a year. So we're going to share some tips, some tricks, some lessons. We're going to share, and just whether you're into podcasting or not, like if you want to do your own podcast, this will be very, very helpful. If you just like hearing and learning from us, we're going to have lots of like life lessons. Like this is applicable for so many different things in your life. It's not just one dimensional with podcasting, obviously, because the way you do one thing is the way you do a lot of things. And so like we have learned a lot, and this has also been really healing, I think, for both of us, because we have both had quote unquote failed business partnerships.
Yeah.
We have had explosions. We've had all sorts of stuff. And actually I talked about this a little bit today in the visibility challenge, but like to come back and to try again when you've quote unquote failed at something or lost at something or had something explode, it takes a lot of courage and a lot of vulnerability.
100%.
So I think for both of us coming back into
Good job,
podcasting,
us.
into podcasting, because it's true,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
it's so true. It's like people take themselves out of the game all the time. They won't start the podcast. They won't go and share their voice or their magic or whatever it is, because they've had stuff in the past that's hurt or it sucked or it didn't go the way that they had planned. And so it's just like, rather than using that as gold to be like, oh my God, let me refine, let me get better, let me become more distilled and clear about what I actually want to do. Let me take that lesson rather than as a failure, because there is no failure. It's just like you learn, you grow, you evolve, and you get better over time. But so few people are willing to get themselves in the game, and podcasting is huge. I mean, so many times I'm like, get a podcast, like, you know, and people are like, well, there's so many podcasts. I'm like, yeah, but do you know how many people start podcasts
And quit.
and they quit? They don't fucking do anything with them. They don't, you know, they do a couple episodes. Like I think the stats show it's like if you make it over 20 episodes, I think you're automatically like the top 10% of podcasters in the world. Yeah. There's so many podcasts out there, names and all sorts of things, and they have, it's like season 1, you know,
Three episodes.
3 episodes, and then that's it. And they abandon them. And I think that's the biggest thing. I'm also a manifestor in human design, so like I can definitely go in that like start shit, fucking peace out. And so this has been a really great year for like tenacity, to build resilience, to build the muscle. And like, it's not like the circumstances, like you and I have both had crazy shit go down this year. We've had so many reasons, so many excuses to tap out. You know, I went through a crazy divorce this year. I've had 2 young kids.
Surgery.
I had a crazy surgery where I almost fucking died. I like was like double surgery. I had a hematoma. Like, just like all of this crazy shit. You know, you've had your own stuff going on. Like we've had so many things. You and I both do coaching. Like we have this, like we have Club Unhinged, and we also sort of have our own personal brands as well. Like we've had so many pieces confronted. We've had our own shit come up. We've had like all sorts of stuff. We've been building a club, like a whole entire international
infrastructure.
like worldwide club, and having launches and learning through launches, and our own, you know, working with our own mentors and coaches and seeing the shit that we have wanted to look at. Because again, like at every level, there's new expansion. There's new, they say like new level, new devil, but it's more like new level and new protector parts you have to deal with, right? And like you and I have had to deal with the high level sniper style protector parts, because the, you know, the basic, the inner critic, like that's fucking easy peasy lemon squeezy, you know, like sure.
Like elementary.
Yeah, like, okay, sure, I've got an inner critic. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've got the part who's, you know, a little huffy puffy over this. But when you deal with like, when you're on a roll and you're building momentum, that's where like, holy fuck. I mean, that's where this, like the real big dogs come out, right? Like that is where the real big dogs come out, and it's fucking crazy. Are we out of the...
No, we're still in. Don't worry. The Riverside's, we've been having tech difficulties all day. We had a club call and the power went out, and obviously the internet dropped. So, you know, we're just going to keep rolling, and whatever happens, happens. But this is also like a big lesson, because when you start something and it has momentum and it's the thing that is actually going to transform and change your life, literally every single thing that could take you out, that is going to try and take you out, will come up.
100%.
Like every time. And so again, like if there's a tech issue, or like, you know, Riverside's not working properly, or our mic's not working, or
we're back.
We're back, you know, like It's one of those
Oh my
things.
God.
Like,
The universe is like, let me give these
Yeah.
bitches.
Yeah.
Well, these bitches are going to tell you about all the lessons they learned. They're going to tell you all the shiny lessons now that everything's working out. So if you're listening and you're just on audio, you're not going to get it. But like, we were just recording, and all of a sudden, Riverside just like cuts off half of the video, and it's like, Christine's thing is not recording properly. And I'm like, I didn't even sign up for the recording.
she's not even in the
Not
meeting.
even in it. So it like fucking splits us, and then all of a sudden the screen is just like her and I, and I'm like,
Like
again,
half of Christine's face, half of my face.
yeah, and we look fucking out of control. And so again, this is, I mean, thank God. And then it just, you and I just shared that lesson about staying plugged in.
Yeah,
even
staying the course, even when things go sideways.
and then it literally pops back up. It was like,
They got it. They
psych.
got it.
But it's true. Like, that just happened. You and I didn't get derailed from that. Like, I've literally seen it before where, like, that in the past, without doing emotional intelligence work and trigger work and shadow work, like, that would have fucking... I would have fucking lost it. Probably would have ended the podcast because my like need for perfectionism and need everything to be perfect would have taken over, and the embarrassment or whatever. But now you and I are just like, yeah, whatever. I mean,
fuck it.
We've had episodes where like Eva's and my daughter's in the background. It's like, mom, can I watch YouTube? And I'm like, fucking hell. I'm like in the middle of like again, but that's the shit when people message us and they're like dead because they like we need more people, especially women out there who are just unapologetically being like, this is fucking life.
Yes.
This is business. This is the way you can still be, you know, have shit go south and be raw and be real and still make really good money and still have a lot of fun. And it doesn't have to derail you, right? So
I think that's another big piece and lesson of this year is like, we really blew up perfectionism.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that even really exists in our vortex anymore.
no, I mean, it reared its head, I think, in the beginning.
Yeah, a little bit.
For me at least. But
And, you know, for me, in the ways that I would get like super controlling with like the sales pages and they had to be like meticulous and perfect. And we've really like let go of a lot of those control aspects. And especially on the podcast, like it's like a free for all on here. Like some days we show up, I haven't brushed my hair and we look like dumpster fires. And I mean,
sick. We've shown up sick.
we've shown up sick.
No voice. I've shown up hungover. I've shown up like fucking. Well, because again, you and I have accountability with one another. We've ditched the perfectionism, and we're just like, listen,
Show up as you are.
Show up as you are, and if we're gonna do life, and we're gonna actually stay plugged into something that's greater than us, it's gonna require us to be in 100%. Like meaning whatever 100% looks like. It doesn't mean perfect. It means that 100% effort for me that day was showing up, no bra, fucking probably sweatpants I'd worn for like 3 days straight because I was sick as hell and like no voice and like cackly. But it's not about that, right? It's about the fact that, and you and I have carried each other. It's also forced you and I to, I had a flight, I think thing. You had a flight thing one time where each of us like couldn't make a call even in the club, or no, the day I had to put down my dog.
Yeah.
Remember? And I showed up a bit for the call, but I was like, I've got to put my dog down. I have an appointment. And Kelsey's like, I've got you for the call. One time Kelsey's flying home from Nashville. She's like, my flight's fucked. I'm like, I got the coaching call. So it's also required us to reestablish and learn trust again. Because if, again, you and I have both had moments where we have things go south and haven't been able to trust people or had things not be exactly what they were. And so I think that it's given us opportunities. Like we're flowing with life because when you're building something big or of value or of that you're really plugged into and you want to leave a legacy, you have to be stronger than your circumstances.
100%.
Which is why we're teaching power in the next quarter of the club. So if you haven't signed up, then get your application.
Yeah, you have until May 2nd, I think. Yeah, well, probably May 1st because we have to do an application interview and the actual power quarter starts on May 3rd. So chop, chop.
I can just throw that through that.
Well, it's perfect actually for how we roll. Like again, like fuck perfection. We are responding in the moment to the thing that's real in the moment. It's nothing scripted with us.
No.
I don't know if you've caught that drift, but like nothing about what we do is scripted. Like half the time we're showing up to calls and it's the morning of and we get on and we do a mastermind an hour before and we're like, okay, this is what we're knocking out of the park today.
By 1 hour, you mean 6 minutes?
Sometimes. You know, sometimes it's like really down to the wire, but most of the time we give ourselves at least an hour. And, but again, like we're always in the same zone. Like Christine did an episode today for the challenge And I had written about the exact same topic, the exact same verbiage at the exact same time on a different platform. And we're both channeling, and it came through me, it went on Threads, it came through her, went into the challenge. And then I'm listening to the challenge and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm still blown away every single time this happens. And it makes me so excited. Like, it's like Christmas, or like I'm going to fucking Disneyland and I'm 5, you know, like I'm so excited. Like, and these are the things that have kept us in the pocket of momentum, because there have been parts of the year that have been insanely difficult. Not only like in our personal lives, but even just like in the building of the club. And like, we've had to navigate like failures in the club. We've had to navigate challenges, like just in the back end of like managing expectations and balancing out workflow. Like, there's been a lot that we've had to navigate, and you know, sometimes just going a little off the rails and having a gay old time is the move, so that it infuses this play and this fun, and it balances things out, because those hard times are going to happen. And I'm just really proud of who we've been in the face of those challenges, in the face of those difficulties in our personal lives, in our, you know, container that we're building. Like, we've really shown up for each other. We've really shown up for our community. We've really shown up for this thing that we're building. And that like means the most to me, because it's literally like reinvigorated my trust in humanity again. Like, that's really what it comes down to. Like, and being able to rely on you and count on you, and like, but it also is not a passive thing. Like, I can't just expect you to mind read me. You know, I've had to really advocate when things start to feel weird to me, or like, oh, I'm about to like hop on the resentment train. Choo choo. And so instead of getting on the fucking train, I pick up the goddamn phone and I'm like, listen, I need to clear something. Are you available? Yes? Great. And I'll share, like, this is the thing that's kind of tripping me up. And I want to get like 20 steps ahead of it so that it never turns into a resentment. Totally. And then we mastermind, we create, and like, we've done a lot of reinvention.
Oh, 100%.
Through the club. And that's why the club is all about reinvention. It's for the woman who is in a phase of reinvention. And like, we've been weaving that and coding that into the club without even really noticing and realizing that until we did. And because like, we're able to do that with each other, of like, oh, is this still feeling good? Yes, cool, we'll keep with it. If not, how do we tweak it? How do we reinvent it? How do we reimagine it so that it does feel good? And that's really what led us to like the final structure. And like, who knows, like, that'll probably transform again.
A million times over, yeah.
You know, but like, where we've landed now of having the shed and having Panther and having the club, like, these 3 distinct places that people can go, and they can join us, you know, from the Instagram or join us from the podcast, and that's their entry into our world. And then there's a step for everyone depending where you are in your journey. And if I had like bottled those things up, or if you had bottled those things up, totally, we would have gotten stuck, and we never would have actualized what this thing wanted to become.
Totally. Well, I think if you and I's thinking was very linear, you know, and like traditional, and like, well, this is the way it has to be done, and here's our 6-step process, and if we don't do it this way, we fail. Like, it's just, again, like, it's such, and we've gone down that road. And yeah, I think we've both had moments like, sometimes I come to the table and again, my energy is like, I'm constantly just like, woo, ping, 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 like new ideas, which is, it's just great. It's great at times when there's capacity. But again, there's times you'll reel me in and you're like, you know what, Christine, I love that. But you know what, right now, I think we should focus on this. And I'm like, right. Because like, consistency and follow through has been something I've struggled with. I've done it, but it's not my natural way of being. It's very inventive. I want the next, you know, I'm just, you know, excited about something else. And so this has been a really nice, creating the structure has given me confidence even in that. And then within the club, we have a lot of flexibility, and you and I have both done that. You know, there's times when I'm like, we need a price range. Like, we need to raise the price. This energetically isn't feeling good for me anymore. And you're like, okay, let's talk about it. Blah, blah. We talk about it. And then, you know, we come to an agreement. Like, we'll come to meet in the middle. Or, you know, there's times, whatever, Kelsey will be like, I feel really strongly about this. I'm like, great, I love that. If that's important to you, it's important to me. And she's like, what?
and vice versa. Like
Yeah.
when you're like, no, like this needs to change. I'm like, cool.
Yeah. I think we're great with that with each other. We really hear each other, and I think we trust and value each other. So we're like, if somebody brings something to the table, we're not like, the fuck is right? And I think and again, I think it's great for women to see women collaborating together, because there's a lot of shadow and there's a lot of manipulation. There's a lot of like competition within women. I mean, there's a lot of things out there like women supporting women. The behind the scenes are like, did you see what that bitch said about that bitch? And she's like, oh my God. Like, it's just like, so I think you and I genuinely coming to the table, feeding off of each other's energy, pumping each other up. Like, there's times, you know, we're on a workshop and I'm like, I'll actually stop and I'm like, I'm like, can we just talk about what Kelsey just said? I'm like, do you know how good that was? Like, we do that to each other.
Yeah,
One of us will have a thing. We'll be pumping each other up. And even our coaching, like, Kelsey and I coach on different things. Not really, but like, she's the master oracle of like love and sex and relationships. And I'm more like business and spirituality and manifestation, psychic shit. So like, worlds are a little different, but when we come together, we tag team coach people like I've never seen before, because there's this like, unreal. It's like I come in like a fucking hurricane sometimes, and like I'm like bullseye on the fucking root thing. Yeah. Kelsey comes and smooths everything out. You know, she's like, we work together so well to get people insane results. Remember Becca? Like when we did that session with Becca, one of the club members, she did a 1-to-1 with us to tag team it, and like, this woman is on fire, by the way. So immaculate and total like authenticity. It's just watching her grow and evolve has been next level. But like within a session, we completely like redone one of our offers into something that we were like, absolutely not. You're not doing that. That is not you. Hard, you could like feel it. But that's the thing is we love the people we work with so much, and the clients and the women in the club, that we can't co-sign something that we know is going to be, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a flaw. Yeah, like we can feel it. And like after that, you know, you see her energy shift, you see everything go online, and like, what did that take? Less than an hour. And it had, again, this is like why I think coaching and mentorship is so valuable, because like she could have gone off and spent months or weeks having to learn those lessons, and like having us swoop to just dive in and be like, here's the nuts and bolts. Ultimately, she has to make the decision. Obviously, we're not going to tell her. We're not going to sit there and say you have to do this. Right. We're going to give perspective. We're going to share our own experience, and like we can also read energy. So we're not just sitting here, you know, spitting out of a textbook. You and I have like lived experience. We've had our own dumpster fires. We can also, both of us are super psychic. We can read energy. We can see what's for the greatest and highest. We can see where the root problem is. We can see all these pieces. And so I think we bring something really unique to the table. And I think that the women who come into the club are obviously very attracted to that. And they have that skill themselves. They have it. That's why they like us, because they see it. They see us having fun. They see us being playful. And I mean, just there's so many lessons we've learned through the podcast, through the women in the club, but even just holding, you know, a larger group, and you and I building the capacity to build something that's scalable, to build something that is creating more impact. And you and I have been initiated and challenged into leadership, our own new level of leadership that neither of us have experienced before, because we're now holding women from across the world, you know, all sorts of, you know, different continents. Like we've got women from everywhere, and starting to build, and there's momentum, and it's almost like we've had to be tested to say like, okay, well, you say you want to impact all these women and help them, you know, who are you going to be behind closed doors? Who are you going to be? Okay, that's fine to be one person on a podcast because you want to quote unquote look good, or you want to be on social media, you want to look good for a launch, but then who are you behind the scenes? And so we've also been building the integrity behind the scenes to hold the women in the club, to make sure we can still show up for the launches, the podcast. So we've had to stretch ourselves, and you and I are fucking busy. Like, I got 2 nuts kids. You've got shit going on. You've got songwriting. Like, we've got all these other passions, all these other things that we have going on. So we've had to stretch ourselves and to say, how do we do this without burnout? Because we're also not willing to have success at the cost of burnout, right? Like in the woman in the club, we want you to have your hottest, richest, most thriving era, but not at the expense of your relationships, not at the expense of burnout and all these things that traditional quote unquote success building or building businesses, you know, is built on, right? It's none of that. So
yeah, it's been a wild fucking ride, and I wouldn't change a single thing. Like, and I think there's another lesson in there too of like, where we started is not where we've ended up. And how true is that? Like when we start anything, whether it's a new relationship or a business venture, your step 1 is going to look so different than step 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And you can't compare yourself to someone who's at level 50 if you're at level 1. And so when we first started the club, like, we were like completely unhinged. We were like, we don't fucking know what this thing's going to be.
We had no idea.
We had no idea.
True.
And so like we had an influx of women who were like, we're going to do a trust fall with you. We like both of you individually. We're really curious what the two of you are going to do together. We're in. And so, and they stayed with us for a period of time. Then there was an inevitable point where they were like, okay, we're complete. And I'm just so grateful for those women who did that initial trust fall with us, because without them, the club wouldn't exist. And I think it's really important to footnote them, and that there are women out there who are just like willing to be early adopters, even though they're like, we don't fucking know what you two psychos are going to do, but we know it's going to be great. So we'll sign up and we'll support you. And like, as it grows and shifts and changes, like, we may or may not stay. And we're like, that makes total sense. And then when we finally landed on what it was supposed to be in the fall, we did see a big shift. We saw like a bunch of those original women leave. And that was even a big thing for us, of like dealing with the grief of that, dealing with like the panic that can come up of like, are we like doing the right thing? Are we moving in the right direction? And being able to like co-regulate with each other and bring up those fears and not sidestep them, not override them, but honor them, and still keep going on this trajectory of, no, this feels like the right move. And it doesn't make logical sense, but this whole business has never really made logical sense. It's Club Unhinged. You know, it's made a lot of spiritual sense. It's made a lot of intuitive sense. It's made a lot of emotional and relational sense.
Yeah.
But logically, not a lot of sense. And when we got that drop in September of like, you're essentially doing a hard left, and you're jacking up the price of the club, you're totally reinventing it. This is what it's going to be. 4 quarters, a year-long devotion. We were like, okay, this is what we intuitively must have known was coming, but we didn't get that vision at the start. And I think that's an important lesson. Like, you have this thing inside of you, and the first step is to just show up for it. And even if you don't know what the end goal is going to be or what the end game is going to be, you show up now, and you keep serving the thing now, and you meet each new moment now. And eventually there is the next, chapter or page of the map that is revealed. But if we hadn't have done that trust fall with each other, with the original women, we wouldn't have gotten the blueprint that we got in September, and then we couldn't have built what we built. And like, I don't think the blueprint would have come in a couple months ago when we did the second reinvention. And now like there's elements of the club that are going to come out after the first year. Like there's so much that is being built in. But again, I think if we'd been given that at the very beginning, it would have been so overwhelming and be like, there's no way we can build that. But we had to really step into the type of women who can hold that vision. And, when that secondary year came through, and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. But if that had come through last year, I would have been like, no fucking way. Like, we haven't even built, like, what have we even built yet? Like, we haven't completed any significant milestones yet. And we're thinking of like this global, like, empire? No fucking way. But like, after we'd built for almost a year at this point, then it just dropped in for me and for you. And again, like, we got the same download. And then we came to each other very excited, like kids on Christmas, and be like, this is what I just received. And you're like, this is what I just received. And I'm, oh my God, it's the same thing. And so then we can weave that into the build for this year ahead. And it feels like the next natural step. It doesn't feel too out of range. And I think people try and build outside of their range a lot of the time because they want it instant results versus like being the committed, tenacious person who like sits in the fucking grit and still makes moves. And that's not sexy. Everybody wants like the razzle dazzle of like, the 7-figure business. but no one wants to actually commit to what it takes to get there. No one wants to go through the fucking initiations that it requires in order to hold on that level. And so I shouldn't say no one, like
Sure.
very small group of people will actually like walk that path. And the cool thing is, if you're part of our vortex, you are definitely one of those people. Mm-hmm. You know, you're not one of the muggles who's just like going through life like a robot. You're not. There's no way that you could listen to more than 2 minutes of Club Unhinged if you were meant to just, you know, pay your bills and die.
Muggle. What the fuck? I really value what you just said. Muggle and all. And what I will say, there's so many times I'm like, oh my god, I want to die. Oh my god. I think, oh my god, I don't even know. I can't even. I'm like,
Nailed it.
No, but like, when we get into it of downloads, mm-hmm. I got a gazillion of them in the past. So I was like super channel. I could like, you know, get ideas, but I wasn't actualizing on them. Mm-hmm. Like it was like internet's best kept secret, or sitting on gold, or just not actualizing. And this is why another lesson is about like the value of taking action is everything, because you can be intuitive, you could be psychic, you can be spiritually connected, you can get all the downloads, but if you're not taking action on them, and action, we mean step one, because oftentimes, again, our protective parts, the part of us, our nervous system, it wants safety. It doesn't care about if we're happy, successful, abundant, manifesting our dream life. It cares about safety and survival. And oftentimes we get these visions or these dreams, and they're not something we've done before. We don't know. We have no data points. Is this safe or unsafe? And so it automatically clocks it as unsafe. So that shows up as resistance, procrastination, not taking any action, all sorts of fun stuff, which if you want to learn more about that, join the club. Because we know this.
Yeah, for real.
We know what it takes now to actualize something, because we both experience hardcore protector parts keeping us safe. And we understand the nervous system now. We understand what's happening behind the scenes. And so it's like a crime that so many brilliant humans are out there with great ideas not taking any action, because they don't understand why. They think it's a lack of motivation, and then there's all these excuses they come up with, and it has nothing. It's just we can cut through the noise and bullshit in like 2 seconds and get somebody's asses moving. That's the cool thing about our field, is that we get people moving, taking action, accountability, lovingly cheerleading you by your side. We're not doing the work for you, but we were there being like, you've got this, and keep going. And you're around expanders and people who are showing you, not telling you that it can be done. Right? 100%. Like that's the biggest thing. Is like we're a pack moving forward. We're not sitting there talking about it and just sitting there being like, well, let's talk about the past and I wonder why. Like we are, the difference with us is we will do that with you, but the intention of going and doing that is meeting the stuff that comes up as you actualize. So that's a very big difference. We're not sitting here just as in a healing circle. We're sitting here saying, what do you want to build? What do you care about? What's the thing? What's the legacy? What's the impact? What kind of money do you want to make? What do you want out of your life? Then we'll help you go a little bigger, probably.
Yep.
And then we help you actually take the action, get yourself moving, so you're taking the action to start the actualization of it. Right? It's like putting gas in the tank and being like, okay, we got this. Let's go. You're a fucking Ferrari. You think you're a broke down like Civic. You're not. You're a fucking Ferrari. Let's go. Right? And we're just reminding you that you're a Ferrari. So I think that's the thing is, and also just like we want the whole map, right? Our protector parts are like, well, show me the map, show me it will work.
Yeah,
and
give me the outcome.
And then I'll take the action.
Yeah, prove to me that it's going to work out. Give me the full plan.
Yeah, universe like, what the fuck are you talking about? Remember when we made that deal?
No.
You were I'll give you the ideas. Your little human cutesy patootsy bear needs to take action on them.
Now,
show me the whole thing.
Give me the
guarantee. And that is like, no, we want, when we're in the game, it's high risk, high reward, right? It's like but it is. It's so true. It's like, yeah, we're going out, and yeah, we're being cowboys, and yeah, we're going against society's traditional, thinking. We talked about this on the bonus call, the money bonus call we just led in our visibility challenge. We were like, a lot of society, there's a lot of shitty narrative around creatives, and it's a joke, it's a pipe dream. Oh, you're
starving artist.
Like there's all these old boring fucking narratives that are being blown out of the water right now. Look at COVID. You think your traditional job was so safe? Guess who got fucking fired and laid off? And guess who fucking skyrocketed? people online, people who are like, we're the crazy ones, the immature ones, the whatever. And it's like, they're the ones laughing. Again, listen, there's a lot of nuance there. I'm being a dick right now, but I'll just say like, but it's kind of like, you know, we don't know. We don't know. And the universe has a way of serving us some humble pie sometimes when we get really locked and loaded in our belief systems. And I like that because again, it's just good to say like, we don't know what's going to happen ever. And our job is not to sit there and obsess about what could happen and all the things. Like, yes, meet the fear, understand it. You're not going to be given the map. Like, again, like you said, if you and I had been given the whole roadmap, we would have freaked out. It would have been way too much for our nervous systems because we're given it piece by piece. It's like, I will give you the first nugget, take some action. It's a chess game. You go first, I'll respond. You go first, you go again, I'll respond. Like, it's this game that we're playing. And I think that, you know, it's really important to name that. Like, you're not going to be given the step 14 when you haven't even done step 1 or 2.
No.
Right? Like, get in the room, get yourself in rooms, whether it's Club Unhinged or somewhere else, that's places that are going to expand you, motivate you, because that instantly is a calibration. If you're surrounding yourself, if your inner circle is a bunch of people who have done not a lot with their lives, or that you're like, wow, I really aspire for that. And again, I think some humans are here because they are literally meant to live a traditional life. I'm sure I've had lifetimes where that was my vibe. Like, I just, wanted to do the thing.
Muggles.
I can't with that word. Like, that was me, you know, I'm pretty sure I've had that, right? So it's just that understanding that if you're here and you have dream inside of your heart, you need to just take action and it will be, the next piece will be presented to you. Now, the key here, though, again, is to not get taken out by shit not going the way you wanted. Because again, we have had many times, you know, building the club and in all sorts of things, we've had evidence where it's not working, right? Like, we've been given the initiations. We walk through gauntlets. We've had it where we'll call it failed launches. Again, there's no failure. We've only learned from it. We've got so crystal clear. And on one of our launches, we had the opportunity. Kelsey and I could have turned on each other. We've been like, this isn't fucking working. Yeah. You know what?
It's your fault.
It's your fault. We're out. You know, whatever. And instead, we fucking doubled down. And we were like, oh my God, what did we learn from that? Let's get really fucking clear. Let's see what we did there. And we were both like, why we're doing a launch.
Why the fuck did we do
We did like
that?
such a traditional bro marketing launch. And her and I, the whole time it was clunky. Yeah. And we didn't, like, we just were like, okay, well, we were, you know, this is the way it's meant to go. And then we realized as well, we're like, what are we doing? We're a fucking boutique business.
Yeah, that's not authentic to us.
We're trying to be Walmart right now.
Exactly.
Like, we're trying to be Walmart, and we got, like, it's, you and I are, like, the thing that separates us, like, there's a dime a dozen personal development things out there. The thing that separates us is we are about intimacy and connection and watching you thrive. Like, there's a lot of people, coaches and, you know, people in the industry who they have no interest in leading somebody for a year-long program. Would be highly recommended against in a lot of circles. They're like, what are you doing? You're going to have to overfunction. Why are you doing live calls? Automate everything. Do it evergreen. Just get them in, get the payment, get the $497 payment, one-time payment with a money-back guarantee. Hands off, you know, and you and I are like, no. We want these, we want to see, like, there's nothing more exciting than me or Kelsey when we message each other or we call each other and we're like, did you fucking just see what she did? She had that breakthrough. She came in saying she didn't know if she could support herself and make payments. She's now making $7,000 a week. Like, we've had shit that is like, we've had relationships be mended. We've had all sorts of crazy shit that's starting to happen. And we're like, oh my God, like, this is exciting. This is like, we know it worked for us. These processes and the things that we teach, because we only teach what you and I personally walk through and the things that we personally do. But it's like seeing it work for other people and seeing, like, just connections being made and like all sorts of epic shit happening. We keep being given, like, are not tapping out, right? We have every reason to blame each other, to say, was this or yada, yada, yada. And we're not doing any of that. We're just saying, like, fuck it, right? Like,
we're all in.
We're all in, and we continue to be all in. And I think that's the biggest, again, from our episode today, just to tie it all up, is that it's a year, we're celebrating a year of our podcast. We're celebrating 52 episodes. This is episode 53. So number one, we're celebrating so many reasons for that. But really what we're celebrating is becoming women who stay plugged in no matter what. And don't unplug when shit gets hard. And don't unplug when we get nervous or scared. And don't unplug when it looks like old, you know, we'll have to do a whole separate episode on this. But, like, when when you start changing and shifting and aligning deeper and richer, things fall away.
Yes.
Like we had women fall out of the club, and rather than going, oh my God, we need to
grab.
let's jump back into what we were doing. We said, we're going to trust that as we shift and evolve, we're no longer going to become an energetic match for certain people, because we're really in this like forward moving momentum energy, and anyone not in that is going to fall away. So rather than like freaking out, we had to have that personal power. We had to stay double down in our own power to say, I'm not letting this rattle me, and I'm not going to be swayed by the outside, because as I change and evolve, the outside's going to shift. It's going to look messy. It might look like it's actually in lack for a while, but it's the redesigning and reconfiguring into our abundance, into alignment, into truth. And this is what happens with Women in the Club as well, is that we have to hold you in that reinvention process. Well, your old life, you're not tapping into what you're seeing out front of you, the manifestation that you've already created based on who you've been. We need to allow the new to usher in, and you don't freak the fuck out.
Fuck yeah.
All right, I'm done.
TED Talk complete. And I have to go get on a coaching call, so we have to wrap it there. But I think that's a great idea to do another episode on that, because it's such a powerful distinction and one of the most important gauntlets that you're going to walk through, whether in business or in relationships and life. But all in all, we want to say thank you for being here for this last year with us. We love and appreciate you so much. And we'll be back next week with more season 2. And if you liked today, give us a 5-star rating, nothing less. And we'll see you next week.
And share it. If you know somebody who needs this in their life, share this shit. Abundance goes round and round. We love you.
We love you. Bye.
Bye.
All in all, we want to say thank you for being here. We love and appreciate you so much. And if you liked today, give us a 5-star rating. And we'll see you next week.
And share it. If you know somebody who needs this in their life, share this shit. Abundance goes round and round. We love you.
We love you. Bye.